Hi, my name is Krish Bahel, and today I'm going to be going over my literature review paper, Explore, Exploit Trade-offs in Human Decision-Making, a brief review. I'm going to start with an introduction of the Explore, Exploit Trade-off and how it plays into human decision-making. I'm going to talk about the main research methods that are used to study this dilemma, some of the essential technology that goes hand in hand with those research methods, and the main biological, emotional, and cognitive factors that play into the occurrence of this trade-off. At the end, I'm going to be going over the future directions for this research. To start with, let's have some definitions. Decision making can be defined as the process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering information, and assessing alternative resolutions. An explorative decision would be to try new options in pursuit of more optimal outcomes. Exploitative decisions would be to continue utilizing the current best option you have to maintain reward return. For example, an explorative decision would be to choose dinner at the new Indian restaurant that just opened down your street instead of your usual favorite dinner spot because you think it might have better food. Exploitation would be to buy the same pair of shoes that you already have because you know they're comfortable for you and you trust the quality that they have. Moving on to the important research methods. In my review, I was able to find two main paradigms, the slot machine paradigms and the multi-arm bandit paradigms. In the slot machine paradigms, the slot machine tasks simulate genuine gambling experiences where participants have to aim for the highest payout from these machines. In this context, switching machines can be defined as exploration, while exploitation would be to participants continuing at the same machines, aiming for the highest payout. And this reflects an exploration-exploitation dynamic where the individuals have to choose between one or the other. Multi-arm bandit paradigms, though, are similar to slot machine paradigms. However, they are a more complex version with multiple slot arms on each machine. And this is a more nuanced understanding of decision-making processes beyond the binary exploration exploitation framework of these single slot paradigms. And the participants have to work through richer exploration exploitation scenarios than the single arm. Some drawbacks for both of these include the potential biases that show up in participants in a lab-based setting because they are aware that they have the safety of a lab setting to fall back on, so they tend to be more explorative. Additionally, there is a risk of oversimplification in lab environments because you cannot get the full natural setting in a lab environment. Additionally, there are some concerns about ecological validity where scientists have to maintain a sense of ethics. Some essential technology that works with these paradigms is the functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI, and the EEG machines. As for the functional MRI, they record hemodynamic changes in the blood, and blood flow signals the activation of specific regions in the brain. When multiple regions activate simultaneously, they suggest connectivity between these functions and neural networks that go along these lines. And structural differences between individuals provide insights into variations in brain regions between different people and their role in creating individual cognitive differences. The EEG machine records electrical responses in the brain and measures neural activity during explore-exploit decision-making. And electrodes are attached to the outside of the brain and utilized to capture individual charges passed along neural pathways. And they provide a real-time temporal advantage, allowing the identification of rapid changes in brain activity and explain the real-time application of exploration and exploitation decision-making. Let's move on to the biological, emotional, and cognitive factors. As for the biological factors, the fMRI is extremely impactful in determining the neural sections correlated with exploration and exploitation. In both of these decision-making processes, the main section of the brain utilized is the prefrontal cortex, as it is responsible for decision-making as a whole. However, in exploitation, the key correlated sector is the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which focuses towards the bottom of the brain. And in exploration, the main neural region associated is the frontopolar cortex and has heightened activation during novel decision-making activities. And that region is at the front of the brain. Some emotional factors that play into decision-making include happiness, stress, or even sadness. And positive emotions tend to drive exploration numbers up, as they drive curiosity and increase motivation to look for new sources of satisfaction. While negative emotions tend to be more exploitative because individuals are less likely to take risks in with the fear of making mistakes or being wrong. Some cognitive factors that play in are the delay discounting effect and memory and recognition. The delay discounting effect, or preferring a smaller immediate reward rather than a large delayed reward, tends to follow up with exploitative tendencies, as people who are exploitative want their rewards quicker and faster. And memory and recognition also plays in because individuals can use memory and personal biases to influence their decisions. And once they learn patterns of a specific outcome, they tend to push more towards exploitation as they feel they understand all the possible outcomes that they can work through. Some future directions for this data. All of this data so far has been purely correlational, and there is a massive need to establish causal relationships. This data, as it stands now, can be utilized and applied in multiple different industries, and especially things like economics or consumer data. Um, Scientists moving forward need to find a stronger balance between the manipulation of biological variables to find more accurate data while still maintaining ethical boundaries. And as the tech continues to advance and new developments continue to occur, it will become easier to find new data without breaking these ethical boundaries. Thank you.